We're back.
Yeah.
The Browns winning edition of the Joe and Josh recap. So the Browns are 2-1. They just beat the football team, 34-20, in a game that was much closer than the score kind of says at times. But it seemed like it was a much closer game than last week's game. But last week's game was a 5-point game.
Right. Yeah.
This week's game was a 14-point game. But so with the game in Cleveland, we'll actually talk to Joe about going to the game. He was one of the 6,000 people that actually went to the game. So we'll get Joe's take on the game day experience during this pandemic and how was it being there? How was being able to watch the win live? All that good stuff. Joe, it's all you.
Yeah. So it was interesting. Obviously weird with people with masks and only 6,000. But yeah, it was very well done by the Browns. Great customer service and spread out and all that. But yeah, the crowd was pretty good. It got pretty loud. I don't know if you could hear it on the TV. But yeah, 6,000 is still a lot of people. But yeah, it was nice being back at a live sporting event. So I'll take it any day.
For sure. How was it were you on there like playing time pregame, or did you just get down there?
So they give you time slots to get in there. So mine was 12:15. So pregame I saw the later end of it. Yeah, not much entertainment wise. Like there's not much like sideline games and stuff, obviously. But that's fine with me. Yeah, it was a good experience. It's obviously different, but nothing. It wasn't like painful to be there. It was a great time. So kudos
if you go to Browns. Yeah, and if you go to a game and it's not painful, that's usually a good thing when it's
that is true.
The Browns.
I've been last season was painful. Even the wins were painful.
Joe just talking just like last season was painful. Every season since 1999 was basically painful.
That's true.
All right, so actually talking about the game, I mean, the defense looked suspect at times, but they made turnovers, or they created turnovers when they were needed, and then the offense converted on, I think they scored 24 points off 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. I mean, that's the easy way to put it. It was just really good. When you score 24 points off turnovers, you're not going to lose.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty much what the defense we're going to have to expect from them. They're going to give up yards, but we got to expect turnovers. Defensive line has to dominate, which they did still. Miles was great again. That strip sack was hilarious. He just
grabbed it out of his hand.
He just grabbed it out of his hand and ripped it away, and then he jumbled it while getting hit. So yeah, but yeah, that was. I think that's until they get completely healthy, and which probably won't until next year when they get Delpit back. But you gotta expect turnovers because they're gonna give up a lot of yards.
A lot.
The quick passing, it kills them because the pass rush has no chance of getting after the quarterback, and they just let up all these yards. So it's one of those bend but do not break defenses. Hopefully, so we got to hold them to field goals more, which they didn't really do very well today. But they at least turned over Washington. So
yeah.
It was good. It was nice to see that they got some turnovers today.
Besides those 2 possessions in the third quarter where Washington scored touchdowns in back-to-back possessions, I was actually really pleased with the defense.
Yeah, it was like stretches. It was in the first quarter where they struggled, and then in the third quarter where they weren't even close to stopping them. I think they had the most frustrating one was 2 third and long situations, and it was a crossing route, and both times they were just wide open. and
Yep.
they would get like 30 yards or 40 yards. So
Yeah, the first one I remember it was a pick play, but the second one he was just
yeah,
wide
it
open.
was
The linebacker like saw him go by him and just like watch him go by.
yeah. Andrew Sandeo is just struggling at safety.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Ronnie Harrison played today, but like if he's not starting next week, I think that's concerning too with how bad the safety spot is right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they said he was going to get more playing time. Obviously, he did a little bit, but I was hoping that he would get a greater amount today. Because anything's better than Sadeo. He is struggling. I did not expect this because I thought he would be a veteran presence, but he is just giving up so much in coverage, and it's been not good for him.
Yeah, we had Redwine last year who struggled, so then we drafted Delpit thinking that he'd be much better, and then this.
Yeah, I know.
The Browns just can't win.
The Browns safeties have been an adventure every year. They've had Randall. They had Demarius Randall for 1 year. Then the next year he was just couldn't do anything. TJ Ward, they let him go, and
I forgot about TJ Ward, the big hitter.
Oh, and Tayshawn Gibson. He was.
Holy cow! Yeah, those are names that. Yeah, they got big contracts elsewhere too, and didn't really do much with anything.
Yeah, no, not really.
All right, so I guess we'll talk. I mean, we have to talk about Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt again. I feel like at this point, if the Browns are up at least 10 in the fourth quarter, you can just chalk it as a win.
Yeah, it's
because Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are just going to kill you.
It was amazing. That fourth quarter was pretty much similar to Cincinnati's fourth quarter, where they just pounded them on the ground.
Yeah.
And it was mostly Hunt in the fourth quarter once again for Chubb, but Chubb dominated the third quarter.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Hunt only. Oh, God, yeah. Hunt only had 46 yards on 16 carries. I felt like he had a lot more than that.
He had a couple negative yardage carries where kind of he lost yards, but I would imagine he had most of his yardage in the second half.
Yeah.
He also had that amazing OBJ catch.
Yeah. That should have been a touchdown. Baker just had a bad throw.
Yeah. Well, it was a tough throw.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough throw.
Guy right in his face, but yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. And just Kareem Hunt taking 16 that carries throughout the game. I mean, Nick Chubb said it during the week after. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. He said that he's just more fresh later in the game because he hasn't have to handle as much of the workload. And that is so big. If one of the best running backs in the NFL is fresh in the fourth quarter and you're winning, I mean, what's the defense going to do when the defense is tired?
Yeah, especially it was the way that Stefanski has utilized the running backs in the last two games. It's just been perfect. It's Chubb early. Chubb is the lead back, and then scattered throughout the game is Hunt, and then Hunt takes it home. It's a great way of doing it. It doesn't lean on one person to carry the load, and it's when you got 2-star running backs, 2 top 5 running backs, I'll tell you got to give them the rock, man.
Yep, for sure. And I agree. And they even gave the ball to Andy Janovich too for a nice reception. 13-yard reception for a first down. I forget. It was either third quarter or fourth quarter, but it was like a big first down. I forget the exact sequence.
Yeah,
and it was a nice catch.
Right. Yeah, down the sideline. Broke a tackle, I think he did, and he
just go on.
I wish he would get more touches. He seems he's a pretty athletic guy, and last year with Denver, he had a few touches too that showed off as a lesson. So hopefully down the line they give him more opportunities to make plays. But yeah, he's obviously there for blocking. But.
Yeah, just had it like they did, do a play action. I mean, in the fourth quarter, no one's to be expecting the fullback to leak out like that, and it's easy pass and catch. I mean, I'll take it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The play calling, I think it was pretty up and down for the first half or so because they kind of went away from the run game. But the second half was really good, especially towards the end of the half. This team is going to win with the run game, and they need to. They can't walk away from it. I know they got in trouble with long yardage downs that caused them to pass, but you can't go away from a stud running back group.
It was weird. It was almost like in the first quarter they were playing like they were down by a lot because they weren't really utilizing the run. And then in the third quarter, I don't know what that was, but I think it was their first two drives, or it was their second and third drive of the third quarter, where they had like negative 12 net yards and a third and 19 and a third and 18. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was the third quarter was Baker's not Baker's best showing. It's like first half was pretty solid. His accuracy was a bit off, but his pocket presence was just terrible in the third quarter. He was rushing out of the pocket, missing guys. He was lowering his eyes to the rush, and it was that third quarter was just a mess. Luckily, they rebounded and took it home.
Yeah, in the third quarter when they went down and they were playing like that, I was like, oh no, here we go again. We're going to lose to a bad Washington football team, literally.
Right, and that's a building process there. They didn't play their best game, but they won, and they came back from a couple tough stretches, and they were successful in the end, and they got the W. So
that's all that matters.
Good signs.
Yeah, I think. I mean, besides the turnovers and Nick Chubb just dominating like he does, I think I made sure I remembered this play. 3rd and 12, a minute left in the third quarter. Baker completed a 15-yard pass to OBJ, and it seemed like after that they clicked, like the entire offense clicked, and they went down. Yeah. That was after that was the third possession of the third quarter. The first two possessions were those negative 12 yards total, 2 punts. And then a few minutes later, they went down and scored a touchdown. And then the next possession, they scored a touchdown. And then the next possession, they scored a field goal. So it was almost like that 3rd and 12 play was like the trigger that made the offense click. I don't know why, but it was interesting just to see, like, at that point, it was like something changed immediately.
Right, yeah. After the catch, I don't know if it showed on the camera, but you could see Beckham was kind of screamed, and I don't know if that pumped up the team or anything, but the flow was a lot better after that.
Yeah, it was like that was a spark that the offense needed.
Yeah, in regards to Beckham, he may have not had like a huge game, but he made some huge catches. He made that big third down. I think he made another third down along the sideline. He didn't make the big play like on last Thursday, but he made the tough catches that we needed him to make. So that was good to see for Beckham.
Yeah, actually, he was the team's leading receiver. 4 receptions, 59 yards. He was tied with Jarvis for the most receptions, then by far the most yards. Jarvis had 4 receptions, 36 yards.
Yeah, not a big passing game, but it was good to see that he was making the big plays when the team needed them.
Yep. And I mean, I guess this is the Browns recap, but I don't think we cannot talk about Chase Young getting hurt because that was a freaking game changer because that defensive line was dominating before that.
Yeah, that was rough. He's incredibly hard to block as a rookie. And you could tell early too. Jedrick he had 2 early false starts, and that's definitely something you can contribute to. Young, trying to block Young and getting out there fast, and so losing him was a tough blow for Washington. But that D line is still good even without him.
It was a huge break for the Browns, but hey, it's the Browns. We never get breaks, so I'll take it when we can get them.
But that defense it's going to win. I think it's going to win Houston or Washington a couple games. the Allen and Sweat, and then Young if he gets healthy. That's a good D line and a good young one too for many years.
Yeah, speaking of the D line, I wonder if that's why. I guess I'd have to look back, but when Stefanski started the game without running the ball, I wonder if Chase Young getting hurt was the moment that changed when Chubb started running a lot more. I guess I didn't pay that close attention, but now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if that was the moment that changed it all.
Yeah, I would have to go back to that too. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I don't know if Stefanski was like afraid of that defensive line, so he was trying to pass it over him. But then, I mean, you need to set up the run through the pass, but you also need to set up the pass through the run. So I don't get why he just abandoned the run to start things off when it worked so well last week.
Yeah, the run game did start off a little bit rocky, but they didn't obviously have enough opportunities to show fully. So maybe he just got into the game plan. A lot of it was they would make there's big penalties. I think there was a couple penalties and then a sack and stuff that they got behind the sticks, and it was always passing yards, passing down. So that's how play calling can get away from you. But luckily, he rebounded, and that was good to see. The adjustments that Stefanski made throughout the game, even within the quarters. It was great to see that he did that.
It's crazy. I'm not used to being able to watch in-game adjustments after the Freddie Kitchens experience.
I know. Yeah, Kitchens would just do the same thing over and over and over again. It's nice to see Stefanski looking at what's happening and actually going off of that, and not just trying to go by whatever your game plan was supposed to be.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else we can talk about besides the fact that the Browns are 2-1, I think, for the first time since 2002, and over 500 for the first time since December 14th, 2014. That is crazy.
Sad, but crazy.
Oh, and there was a stat where they scored back-to-back 30-point games for the first time in like 6 years or something too, which is I mean, they broke so many records today.
I know. Yeah, this offense is nice because they don't need to be explosive. They gain yards and they just score points, so they can consistently move the ball, which is really nice to see.
I mean,
go ahead.
Go on. No, go.
And it's controlling the clock too, which is huge for the Browns because the defense is a little rocky right now.
For sure.
So it's good to see that they're scoring points and controlling the clock.
Yeah. I mean, Baker only had 16 completions and they still scored 34 points.
Right.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah,
and I'm looking now, they only had 6 penalties, and I think 2 of those were false starts early on Wills.
Right.
So they didn't have many penalties either.
Yeah, that was the key too. There was no mistakes really. There was obviously different play calls or different execution mistakes, but the penalties or turnovers, they didn't shoot themselves in the foot of that often, which was nice to see, and that allowed the run game they can go back to the run game and pound the ball behind that offense. I want to highlight the offensive line. Excellent. Wyatt Teller was one of the question marks coming in. I always thought he had the potential, but man, he is dominating. His ability to pull around the end and lead block, and he's been incredible. His offensive line is just night and day from last year.
Yeah, it's nice to see too. You can tell Baker Mayfield, he's still a little bit skittish, but you can tell he's a little more confident in the offensive line too.
Right. Yeah. It was almost every play last year where he would go out the left side or the right side of the pocket and scramble all the time. But yeah, he's staying in there. He seems more confident overall. But yeah, this offensive line, man. If you have good coaching and a good offensive line, you can go places. So it's great to see.
I mean, with the running backs and the offensive line that the Browns have right now, all Baker and Mayfield need to do, I mean, I know they obviously want him to be a game changer with the number 1 pick, but he just needs to be like a game manager type where he doesn't make stupid mistakes and he just lets the offense do what it does. Just like today, they scored 34 points, and he didn't really do many. Great things. He was good, but he wasn't great.
Right. Yeah, and that's what Jake Burns, our friend Jake Burns, pointed out on Twitter.
Jake Burns, the guy that's
yeah,
we knew him way back when.
Oh, way back then. Way back when. Yeah, he pointed out that right now the Browns don't need Baker to win games for him, but they eventually want him to be an elite quarterback to be someone that they can lean on. So, but right now they're utilizing the rest of the team to win games, and they just don't need him to make mistakes, which was definitely a good sign. This is, I think, the first game in 9 games, I believe, without an interception. So that was a good sign.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah, good sign for him. Yeah, it was a good game for Baker. Good win for the Browns. And it was really nice. One last point on the offense was scoring points after turnovers, as we pointed out earlier. How many times last year we would get turnovers and they would score a field goal or just punt it away. They scored touchdowns after the turnovers, and that was a huge part of the win today.
Yeah, 24 points off 5 turnovers is pretty freaking good.
And one of them was the last second of the second half.
Oh yeah, I forgot that counts too.
That wasn't even
it was technically 4 turnovers where that Browns offense is actually able to do something. That's true.
Right. Yeah. So that was great to see the offense capitalizing.
For sure. All right. So I guess that's it. Browns are 2-1.
Yeah. On to Dallas.
Yeah, on to Dallas. Next week is gonna. The Browns' bend but don't break defense is gonna be put to the test. Dallas has so many weapons.
Yeah. I'm watching them right now. They're battling right now with a high-scoring game versus Seattle. So
yeah,
it should be a fun one. It'll probably be a high-scoring game, and so this game might be the one where Baker has to. He
win it.
He needs to step up, and they can't rely solely on the running game to win the game.
Yes. So far, the last 2 games they haven't wanted Baker to lose the game, but I think against a team like Dallas, they're going to want him to win the game.
Yeah,
like Jake said.
This is a great test. I'm excited because this team's good. It's a solid team right now, with the offensive line playing well and the coaching play calling doing well. It's going to be fun. Can't wait.
Yeah. All right, so I think that game's definitely at 1 because they only play one 4:00 game, and I think that's a few weekends from now. So Joe and I will be back with you a week from tonight at some point. It'll be on the schedule. So Browns are 2-1 for the first time since 2002. Over 500 for the first time since 2014. And Joe has one more thing.
Shout out to Cody Parker.
Oh,
can't believe it. We have a kicker who made all their field goals in the past 2 games. Just
a heads up, if he now struggles, we come back and blame Joe.
You can blame me, but
no, but seriously, he has done well.
Yeah, and that 42-yarder, I didn't expect that one to go in, but he drilled it. So kudos to Parkey for stepping up and kicking out of the end zone too, so we didn't have to see their kick return coverage.
I didn't think that was possible for a Browns team to do that. I thought it was against the rules.
I know Mike Prefer likes this Brown special teams coach likes to kick it to the goal line to kind of pin them back, but I think he figured out this return coverage team is just
it doesn't pin them back.
It does not. So I think he told Cody just kick it deep and we'll move on to the next play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will be back here next Sunday night. Go Brownies.
Cool. Go Browns.